Dos, tres. Hello, people. We are back. A2TP podcast, episode 124. And we are back in the building. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tosh, the co-hostess with the most.
And we are back for this week's episode. Y'all can find us on A2TP podcast, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Anchor, Breaker, Google, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Twitter. Get right to it. How you doing?
I am doing magnificent. Isn't it?
Elaborate.
Is that a word you use often?
Not often, but once or twice a year.
Yeah, I don't usually use that often, but I feel great. Mentally, I'm a 9. I'll say that. I'm feeling good.
I'm about to say, what is a piece of wood doing in here? What's that pad?
Got some things going on. You said a piece of wood. I thought you was in the drawer.
Oh, dang. I just got blush at that. My wood reached the drawer. Damn.
Yeah, so I'm feeling great mentally, in a great space. Just grateful, gratitude overflowing from my soul. So yeah, mentally I'm a 9. Financially I am a 10. Thank God no hardships there. My husband just recently had to do something, and I'm just grateful for the means. That's it, whether big or small, big and not even big and small in dollars. I'm talking about big or small in stature of the situation, regardless of what it is. I'm just truly grateful for the means. Work is a 10. I'm excited. A little while ago, I had asked the question on Facebook about, did people have jobs that they were passionate about? Because although I'm great at my job, it just wasn't my passion, and which ties into my mental space. I just am grateful that I am about to embark on an opportunity to do something that I am passionate about. It just is like a full circle moment, and I'm just extremely grateful. And physically, I'm a 9. I'll say I'm a 9.
No way, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you?
I am good. Mentally, I feel like a 9. Started off Monday, I wasn't that great, but every day gets better. So I always tell people do a Monday morning check-in, just to see how you're going to start your week out. And I started out on a 8. And I bumped up to a 9, and it's just Wednesday. So
that's good.
Who knows where I'll be Friday. Finances is a 10. Thankful to God for blessing me the way that he does, blessing us the way that he does. Work is a 9, would have been a 10, but I had to cuss out 2 punk ass motherfuckers. Y'all know who y'all are, even if y'all see this. Fuck y'all. Physicality, I feel like a let me think about this, because I worked out today. So I feel like a 9.
That's
I
good.
feel like a 9.
That's good.
Yeah, I am un poquito proud of myself. A little bit.
No, you should be more grande.
More grande?
More grande. Very, very much proud.
Grande.
Mucho.
Wows and woes. What do you got? Ups and downs, blacks and whites, stops and goes.
My wow this week is, just again to have an opportunity to be able to embark on a new journey in my professional life, and just grateful. Yesterday I kind of had a moment where I was just thinking like, wow, something that I've volunteered to do certain activities and stuff in the past, like whether it's like food banks or packaging stuff. Didn't you do a packaging thing with me once?
Twice.
Yeah, and it's just to think that this is about to be part of like my job, what I'm paid to do, things that I've done because of me just wanting to, and now me kind of being in charge of, facilitating these type of events. It just makes me a little mushy in the inside. So that was just a wow moment. I'm serious, like God really, I'm just grateful.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Not many things make her mushy. She like a fucking rock, like trying to get blood from a stone over here.
Let me tell you, I used to be very mushy, and things have happened in my life that made me have to harden up a little bit, because I'm not going to be no little punk ass out here crying for everything. But, I get mushy sometimes.
I like it.
My woe. Let me tell you what my woe is, right? I have found a great black nail salon,
Oh,
right?
Jesus Christ.
They did great service. The prices were, comparable to other salons. But I have now had to quit them because the timing. And what I'm realizing is that I don't think that we, black people in the nail industry, I don't think we can compete with others.
No, you can't compete.
And just this is my space right now. I don't talk about the barbershop.
All right, go ahead. Get your shit off.
And I think it's like six in one hand, half dozen in the other. Sometimes when we go to the more convenient nail salons, they're fast. Sometimes they're sloppy. They don't really have a lot of focus on nail care. They do the job and they can do a good job. Prices are reasonable. You're in and out. And then when we go to black salons, there's more emphasis on nail care. They but they the time, that's just it. It's the inconvenience. And you got to think, do I want to support black people? And the nail care is important, but at the sake of my time, it's just, and it's not even like a little bit of time longer. It's like 2 and 3 times the amount of time that it takes at the others. And I've tried to weigh in my head, tried to find some rationale why I think it should work, and I just can't. So and anybody that knows me, I'm all for supporting black owned business. This one, I'm gonna have to gracefully bow out. And that's a woe for me because it makes me a little sad, but I gotta do what's best because I wanted that to be like, part of my life. Like,
but the reality is, it's not like, so it's okay. Like, you was fine.
It is. I'm gonna be okay about it, but it's just like, oh, want. So that was just, a little while.
Going to the other side.
Cut it out. What's your
wows and woes is tied together. So I had this thing this weekend where I had to finally,
take your time.
I had to finally get and finalize my Nana's tombstone, and that was a.
Sorry.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm sorry. I was trying to console you.
It's okay. Relax.
All right.
It was a big deal. So I never really got a headstone for somebody didn't know the process, didn't know what to anticipate, and it was a doozy. It was a doozy. But in the end, everything got taken care of. Nana will have a headstone, and I'm super proud of that. I'm super proud that God has blessed me to be able to do something like that. I'm super proud that I think she's super proud of me. And it was just a lot of emotions. So that's the wow is that I finally got it done for her, and the woe is that going through that process, kind of reliving the whole situation, being at the cemetery where she's buried, that kind of thing. So you gotta relive that for a few hours. And then before I left, I wanted to give her a chat or two. It started to rain, so just blew her some kisses and told her I'll be back. So that was my wow.
I'm happy you got to spend that time with your sister too.
Yeah, spent some time with my sister. Hung out with her. That was super emotional because I don't have no beef or ill will with my sister, and just sitting and talking to her, I could tell she really needed it, and I was glad that as her older brother, it's not like we spent lots of time together, but I was glad I was able to be there in that moment because I felt like she really, really, really needed it, and I was glad to be a part of it. I was glad to be a part of it.
God makes no mistakes, and things align.
Yeah, he was supposed to do it with all my siblings, and not everybody was able to make it, and it kind of aligned where it was just her and I, and so we had some quality time to spend after getting everything arranged. So yeah, it was super dope to see her. Bittersweet because it was a lot of emotions and the occasion. But, I was glad I was able to give her what she needed at that time. So, shouts out to my sister. I love you, Ed. So, that's my wow and woe.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Did you learn anything this week?
Nah, nah.
So you just
Flat out don't.
air.
But that's not even part of the.
Show anymore.
We're not even there yet. So
I know, but I just wanted to kind of jump the gun.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do that. If you ever wonder how you get thrown off or fucked up around here, that's how. Jumping the gun.
I don't ever wonder that. That ain't in my wonder space.
Topic. Prom season. It is prom season and people are having proms. Young kids are having proms, and shout out to all the kids out there who are going on their high school prom. I'm sure it's an experience I never experienced. My wife has, but I never experienced this. But proms are above and beyond and elaborate, and it's a different thing now from when I went to high school and what I saw. So proms now, and it seems like most of this stuff that I see about proms and the extravaganzas and the pageantry that goes with them, mainly those people are based in Philly. Like, I don't see like people in Chicago or people in other states. I see them going on proms, but I don't see it being as big as people from Philly make it. So I don't know whether it's a thing or just something that originated in Philly, but I see big proms and nice stuff, and of course, you know, you got the cars and the clothes, but in Philly, you see a different level of prom. And I looked some of this stuff up, and it is like a different level of prom in Philly. So, growing up in Philly, when you was going to prom, what was the biggest thing you saw?
Well, let's. There's a caveat. It's not prom. It's the prom send off. Like proms itself are still the same. It's the send off.
Technically, right, but
yeah.
I'm sure people knew what I meant. But I appreciate that.
So I mean, for us, proms, it's weird because I look back to the time when I went to prom and we had, you know, I think there was balloons outside on our porch, but
red carpet on the ground.
No red carpet, but it rained,
okay.
So it might. That's an option that we may have had that had it not been for the rain. House full of people. I remember that food. Yeah. So I just like. I remember
you had the typical prom of house full of family, food, some balloons on the porch, like letting
I remember like
it was prom.
My cousins in the room, like one doing my makeup, one like my hair was done, one like helping me get dressed, like it was a lot going on. Yeah.
Okay, but it wasn't like an elaborate thing. Well, to you at the moment it was elaborate because you never did it before, right?
Right.
I don't want to shit on the prom.
No, it was as prom. Elaborate as proms were at that time. I mean it wasn't to the extent that we see the send-offs now where there's like an actual, the send-off itself is an occasion prior to the child even leaving the home. Yeah, I mean it was an occasion, but compared to what it is today, it was like this.
So what was the biggest thing that you saw back then that you were like, wow, like they did that for prom? Was it just a rental of like an expensive car?
You know,
because like when we was growing up in the 90, 95, 94, 93, nobody was renting Bentleys.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean,
it wasn't
you wanted
that big
a nice
yet.
car, but I remember going to prom, I absolutely did not want a limo. I don't know why. My mom was just so adamant about getting a limo, and I was like, absolutely not. I didn't want a limo. I just thought that was the corniest thing ever.
What year did you go on prom?
98. But the crazy thing is, we ended up, at the very last minute, my mom agreed to rent a car. It was a Geo Prism. And guess what? All of that hoopla, I mean, the people who were at my house to see us leave saw it. But pulling up to prom, nobody saw it. Our prom was at the Bellevue Hotel on Broad Street. You pulled up, valet, took and parked the car. People were inside, so it wasn't like a whole bunch of people outside. I was kind of embarrassed thinking, oh my God, we got this Geo Prism. Nobody knew. Like, nobody cared. Even if we had a limo, nobody would have known. So, like, I don't even know if there was conversation about what kind of car somebody was going. The craziest thing that I remember is when I think I was a sophomore and this girl was a junior. I remember she wore, this was like the Little Kim era.
That dress?
No. I'm just saying, like, think about like
Okay.
female rappers, Little Kim, Foxy Brown. So she wore a leather bicycle suit and she went to prom on a motorcycle.
Wow.
Yeah, like I remember, but
That's
yeah,
big for 90 something. Like
yeah.
you
So
see that
this
back
was
then.
in '96.
Right.
Yeah, like so that was like wow, like that's what she did. Now, I can picture her face. I can't remember her name, but it was like okay, that's what she did for prom. But like so that was like the most like outlandish, fly thing that I remember.
Right. I think just seeing people go off on prom, most of them were limos, and I'm trying to think the most like outlandish car I probably seen somebody rent was like an Acura or something like that, like
A
something, yeah,
Lexus.
Lexus or something like
You might
that.
have seen like a Lincoln or something. Cause I don't even know what were like the fly
Nah,
cars
it
back
was like
then.
back then if you had a car service and had a Lincoln Town car, it was corny. You might as well have a
Okay.
limo. But if
Okay.
you got a rental car like an Acura, a Lexus, I forget the SUV of that time, but
Probably like a Navigator.
yeah, something like Explorer, something like that.
Okay.
It was like, okay, that's a cool car to have. So that's like the biggest I ever seen. We have a son. He's going to prom. Are you going out like you want to go all out like people do today, or you just want to give him a decent prom?
I mean, I want to give him a decent prom. All out is subjective. I understand.
Some of this shit you're not gonna understand because you can Google best proms in Philadelphia and a
No,
couple of them come
I've
up.
seen it. Like it was one guy. They had a DJ. They had balloons going up to the roof of this house. They had a whole side of a building wrapped where it looked like it was a mural, but it was wrapped. So I've seen all of that. I mean, I understand that, especially in these inner city neighborhoods where making it to 18 is like rolling the dice. Having
Making
a young
it out of high school.
having a young black son who might have, literally no exaggeration, have had 10 friends killed, and your son made it and did no babies, no jail, and he's alive. That is like such a moment to celebrate. It's like, and then what I don't like, well, let me jump, I'm jumping the gun.
You are.
Yes, I am going to celebrate my son within reason. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. I want him to be I want him to be as fly as he wants to be. I want him to look sharp. I'm not spending no ridiculous. Just for our wedding, we didn't spend no ridiculous amount of money,
Yeah, but
and we looked
saying,
amazing.
You got a boy. He's your only boy, and he going to prom. It's like moms get that shit. Like you just all that stuff you said. Like my son did this big thing, and he alive, and he got friends that were killed. We've been to funerals, and
it's
look
gonna
what he
be
was
nice,
brought
but
up
it's gonna
with.
be within reason. It's gonna be within our taste. Like
Right.
it's gonna be nice. It's going to be in our taste. I don't want to have a party for his prom. I want to have a nice send off, some food, some balloons, take some pictures. I want it to be memorable for him. I don't want it to be embarrassing, because some of this too, I think, is for the parents. Maybe they didn't experience it, whatever the reason. But I mean, I'm definitely,
or it's just a good kid, straight A student, or honor roll, valedictorian, well, like all that kind of. And I know that's later in the graduation, but you kind of got an idea of that.
Yeah, how
during
well
prom.
your child is.
Yeah.
Even if they ain't, if they a C student and they making it, you just happy. So yes, the answer to your question, I am going to make sure that he has what he wants within reason. I'm not buying you $2,000 shoes because I wouldn't be buying you $2,000 shoes anyway. Like I'm not going to like go crazy for one night. It will be nice. It will be within our budget. It may be slightly over our budget, but we would make it nice.
Yeah, I think I would want to do. I wouldn't want to go above and beyond like some of the shit I've seen, but I would want to do something extra, like for my kid that made it that far. Like you said, and especially if we lived in an area that wasn't, that was like an urban area, and he grew up tough, and his friends went to jail, and like all that kind of stuff. And you remember them times going up to the school, and it's like you finally got there.
Or
so
even
I would want to,
I'm sorry,
like bless him with, like I appreciate you for being a good kid. Like this is one of those moments where it's like, you show the appreciation. Now, the shit that you can Google and see is like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, there was a girl in Philly who had a son, and I don't know these people's names, so I'm not even gonna try to remember people's names. He had 3 dates, and she had 3 different themes, and she went viral for this, I think, but she had 3 different themes, and one was like a regular theme, one was some other theme, but one was she made a desert outside the house and rented sand.
That's the lady that made the yams with all the sugar.
And rented a camel.
Yeah.
And all that kind of shit. Like that's an elaborate
She
thing
went
to
Dubai
do
to the
prom.
hood. That was a couple years ago. Yeah.
And then that same lady, she did somebody else's prom and did Wakanda and had like 250 people at 22nd and Allegheny, like doing, I guess, the choreography for.
Well, she owned the
Black
restaurant.
Panther.
Right, she owned a Saudia Schuler is her name. She owned a restaurant there. Now her restaurant is inside the Fresh Grocer. So she's the lady who went viral for putting all that sugar in the yams. You know, popular business owner in Philadelphia, viral for, you know, bringing Dubai to the hood. And her son is one of those who fits that criteria, who had friends
so
that
you
went
just
to
looking back as a mother, is that too much?
You know what?
Are you going out on that scale if you have it?
No, I wouldn't go out on that scale.
That's what I'm saying. If it's not about the money and it's just like, I want to do nice things for my son because he's going on prom, and it's not about money, do you go there?
I don't, because it's not my taste. Too much is subjective. Who's to say too much for who? And I don't think she just...
Well, renting a camel and putting sand on the concrete and making Dubai, some
No,
would
what
say
I'm
is a
saying-
little excessive.
For some.
Right.
For her, maybe it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's subjective because who's measuring the scale? For some people, they might feel like, yes, do that every time.
I think that I don't know. I can't say what she would think, but I would just hope that a sensible person would say, even after I did it, the logistics of doing something like that is a bit excessive. In a fucking camel.
Now, mind you, this is the same lady who brings Christmas to the hood, provides gifts to hundreds of kids year after year. This is the same lady who, you know, does coat drives. So, I mean, I get it. And I don't think it was just about her son. I think some of it was for the attention. I think some of it was also to motivate the hood. You know, that Dubai scene, people used to travel, even this is after the prom, used to travel to that location just to take pictures to say they were there. It is, like, again, it's too much for me. I'm not going to say it's too much for her because that's what she deemed what she wanted to do. That would never be something that I would think to do, you know, to have a whole choreography. I seen somebody who have belly dancers and fire twirlers and a dance. First of all, they rented a hall. Okay, now mind you, this is not for prom. This is for a prom send-off. They rented a hall. They had a dance team. They had belly dancers. They had like the people that spin the fire things. Like as people were coming into the building, like you walk up and it's like entertainment all around. And this was for the prom send-off. Now, again, that's not anything that I would ever entertain. But some people feel like, I got one child and I'm proud of them. Or some people feel like, I never went on prom, I'm going to do it up for my child. Some people could have lost another child and felt like, you know what, I'm going to celebrate to the fullest
and
of
go
this.
all out. It's all subjective, but it can seem excessive for somebody to be bringing in tons of sand to put on the concrete. I mean, it takes
I
some
wonder
logistics.
what kind of permit you need to rent
it takes
a
truckloads. It takes logistics. Camel.
Where do you rent a camel from?
You can call places that have like
a zoo, like a local zoo or something.
Zoo, not like the Philadelphia.
No, but like one of them local, like neighborhood.
Exactly,
zoos.
And you can get a camel. So that probably was easy. Go on social media, and you know you can pull a Boosie. I need a camel down here, and I got cash on deck.
I'm waiting for somebody to have the chopper come down and pick them up and take them to the prom in the chopper.
There was a girl down south last year who went to the prom in a casket because she was killing these bitches.
Yeah. You can't pay me $1 million to lay in a casket alive.
Yeah.
Alive. The only time I want to be in the casket, I want to have no knowledge of. Yeah. You can't pay me $1 million not on a movie set, not in a prank, not in a joke. Like, that is like crazy. And then you see this new thing with Lotto has a song that says I'm gonna mess the lyrics up, I know, like rip me out the plastic, I'm acting brand new.
Oh, I saw a girl go to prom and got ripped out of plastic. Yeah.
Come on, y'all.
Yeah,
come on.
I saw that.
Come on.
Like y'all doing too much. See, that's what I mean when I say some things could be excessive. Like little shit like that. Like first it was a Beyonce thing. Everybody wanted to be fabulous and glorious like Beyonce.
Of
and
course.
then it
Well,
was
that I don't even think is a thing. Yeah, it's your prom. You be fabulous and glorious.
No, I mean people was like, I want this hairstyle, I want that dress, and then they got Beyonce playing in the back. Like it was the theme. Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing was wrong with it, but now the theme is Lotto, rip me out the plastic bag. The theme is Dubai. Like the theme is, we got 3 prom dates. So we got 3 different, like that shit is like, man, pick a date and go to the fucking prom. You're gonna be there for 2 hours. Like, why we gotta do 3 different goddamn things, 3 different walkouts, 3 different songs, 3 different cars? Like, what are we doing?
You know what I also feel like? I feel like some of these people, they're providing like only the child or children are going on the prom. But it's like they're providing entertainment for everybody else.
So it's social media. You think they're trying to go viral in some sort. Not like doing the whole thing to go viral, but knowing in the back of your head, if I shut this shit down, it's going up.
Yeah, I mean, you might. Yeah,
not that some money gonna come in, but I'm just gonna go viral.
I mean, who doesn't want to be recognized to be like, I had this person, especially in this day and age, pictures circulating everywhere. Because the thing is, if you didn't want your pictures to circulate, your page would be private. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm sure in the back of their head, you want to think you the flyest. You want to think you the sharp. And fly and sharp and all, it's all subjective. Because, what one may think is great, the other may not. I know people, I've been seeing people debate like about young men and wearing these short pants, Did
you see LeBron's son?
No.
His pictures. I think his outfit was, I don't like the low cut, the jacket with no shirt. Like I don't like that. I like a shirt on, so I don't like my chest. I will have to shave my chest.
He had no shirt on?
No shirt.
Wow.
With a jacket with this like cross on the back. It probably was Gucci or Versace or some shit, but his dad was like best prom outfit ever, and he had on these buckle shoes that was like $4,000 shoe, whatever. But he looked really nice.
But no shirt. That's a little like too mature.
And the V like down to here.
Yeah, that's
like
a little mature.
Right here, so all this was out, and you got to shave all that hair off because you want to look good. You want to show the taco meat, so that's got to be waxed and bald. I ain't doing that. So I mean, he looked nice for a 18-year-old kid going on prom, and his pop is LeBron James. Like you look the part, winning a Ferrari. But you look at the comments. Oh, look at him with this white girl. Oh, look at him with this white girl. Oh,
well, last year he went. Is that recent? Because last year he went with a white girl.
This was just the other day.
So maybe last year was his junior prom.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think too of demographics and where and geographical location. Yeah, that's where he lives. And that's not to say that there are other white girls other black girls that go there, but that's who he's around. So the probability is that he's probably going to date a white girl. That's who he's raised around.
Yeah.
I mean, but then people can look at it in the opposite and say, well, why all the Kardashians got black baby daddies when it's all white people? So I mean, it's subjective as to who they like.
Sort of a double standard.
Yeah.
Sort of a double standard because you're not bashed for, like, a Kim Kardashian isn't bashed for liking black guys, but a black man would be bashed for liking white women.
Well, you do have that subset of black women that's like, y'all all want our men. I mean, I don't care, I don't care when a black man likes white women. I do care if they look down upon black women and think white women are better. Because then that's like some self-hatred. Your mother's black. So, but if it's like, you're an equal opportunity lover, then oh well.
What if that comes from that, though?
What?
What if his disdain for black women comes from his family? What if it comes from...
He had a bad relationship with his mom.
Relationship with his mom.
That's
I had
sad.
sisters that were fucked up. You might have had a heartbreak in your life. So you have this thing like people have with, with white people, where every white person, like a person would say that back in the day, every white person I ever met, they did something wrong to me.
Right.
A teacher, a principal, a cop, like that kind of thing. So it's like my sisters broke my balls and we fought and we didn't have good relationships. My mom, we didn't have a great relationship. Like, So you kind of have this thing for women where it's like,
You,
I can take it or leave it.
I would hope that they
For
get
black
some
women anyway.
I would hope that they get some counseling, because that's sad if that is the reason why they miss out on all that great chocolate love.
But I mean, love is love, right? At least he's being loved from somewhere. That's what counts. Like, at least you being loved.
But I don't think...
should probably prefer a black woman, but because of your history and experience that your life is, that you live.
That's why
I get it. Like, why you...
I understand, and I hope that
I was going to say, I understand. I might not agree or condone your disdain for black women, but if you said, look, this is
all black women I've known have hurt me. I get it. And that's why I said I hope they get some help and realize that it's not all black women.
When do you go to counseling and say, I need help to like black women again?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Not to like black women again, but you hopefully express that I have a disdain for them because of my mommy issues, or because of, the relationships that I've had with black women. Because again, if you're an equal opportunity lover, then that's all well and good. But to just not like your own people, that's like a form of self-hatred.
Even if it comes from something that's real.
Yes, because you shouldn't direct that to that entire population, is what I'm saying. Direct that to the people that hurt you. That's like, me saying I hate, if there's a certain name that when I hear it, it makes me scared. Mm-hmm. But I know in reality, not all people
name that is bad.
I should, exactly. Right. So that's something that I had to deal with him myself.
Gotcha.
I would never name my child that. But, again, I can't look at every person with that name to be like, okay, you're a horrible person.
Right. Gotcha.
I had to learn to love your name.
I'm good, fuck.
Okay. Going back to prom, I would absolutely celebrate and have a grand time. He
wants a Bentley. It's $1,200 a day.
Possible. Well, see, this is the caveat to that, though. When these people have these cars, I don't know if I would trust it depends on the
Your
child.
18, he drives. He's been driving for 2 years. He got a license. Mom, I want a Bentley. It's $1,200 to $1,500 a day.
It depends on my child and their level of maturity, which as a parent you would know.
Right.
Whether or not they can be trusted with that kind of responsibility. Now, if you got a child that's a little airheadish, you make a different decision.
Where you already done banged your shit up and took a light out of your shit driving.
Or if you got a daughter, and it's a little different, because are you going to rent the car for her date to drive? How about we get y'all a nice chauffeur?
How about I get y'all a nice horse and carriage?
That's cute.
And y'all trot down there in that.
It'll take you a while to get there, but that's cute.
Hey, where you going? You ain't got nowhere to run to. You going to prom.
Yeah, that's cute. No, what would be cute, you have your daughter show up to, like, maybe have her get dressed around the corner and then have her show up to the prom send-off in the horse and carriage, and then they get in the car.
I think they would want to show up to prom in the horse and carriage where all their peers are, so they can see.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody sees it. When you show up to prom, your peers are in the inside. That's why I wasn't mad about.
All right. Well, I thought it was. I never had a prom. I thought it was a picture of like everybody just getting there. Like, it's social media now.
Get there at the same
but it's
time.
social media now. It's like, what time you coming? I'm gonna be there like 9. I'm gonna be there like 9. So now you got a group of friends who's showing up at 9. Everybody got their cars. We're gonna take our pictures and we're gonna go in.
And you got to think too. Most places where they have a prom,
plausible?
It's probably valet. So they're pulling up. The valet is like, okay, give me your keys to go park the car. Like, the logistics. I mean, not saying that two people can't pull up at the same time, but it's not realistic to think that so many people. Now, you can like text your friends like, the horse and carriage about to pull up, everybody come out. Maybe, but more than likely it's just going to be the people that see you leave from your house.
Everybody's going to come out not to see you get ripped out of plastic.
It was just corny.
Like that's stupid. What if, because like plastic don't always cooperate.
What if it don't
try to rip and it don't rip and you got to keep pulling and you in there like
and you
just waiting for everybody got their phone and you just like waiting to get ripped out.
I don't play with nothing over my face.
That's stupid.
Yeah, I'm going to rip it off myself.
It's crazy because you probably would hear something like person dies on TikTok because they
couldn't get the plastic off fast enough.
The person didn't rip them out fast enough. evergreen material today. DJ Envy and Rick Ross have a little spat going back and forth about car shows, which was comical, which was funny, which was great content. Like back and forth, you know, you talking about his car show is small, his car show is charged too much, mine's for the family. You a CO, like all that
Beige rage. I thought it was
all that
like
was
funny
fun
fodder.
and great content. Like she said, great fodder. It crossed the line when Rick Ross starts talking about Gia, and everybody knows that's DJ Envy's wife. Like,
you went too far.
You went way too far. Way too far. Because I don't know why you can't keep paddling the ball back and forth. I hit it to you, you hit it to me. I hit it to you, you hit it to me. I hit it to you, you hit it to me. I don't know why when I hit it to you, you got to hit it back to my wife. Like, she not playing. Like, I'm not. Like, me and you are in this game. She not playing at all. And then when you start playing with her, now I don't want to play no more. Fuck this game.
So what happens if, okay, A2TP podcast out here doing your thing, and you say something about Third Act, the podcast, making it up, right? And, you know, the host over there, you know, William says, yeah, he over there with his wife, you know, come.
What the young kids say today is up. Is that what y'all say today? It's up. It's up. I do not play about that. Like, I'm a healing person. I'm not completely healed. I'm not. And, you know, I just don't rock like that. I don't talk about nobody's wife. I don't look at nobody's wife. I don't give innuendos to nobody's wife. I don't say anything about anybody's wife. So I do that because I don't want you to say nothing about mine. And if you do so, then you don't get to tell me how to respond at all.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think the respectable thing would be, and I like Rick Ross. I'm a Rick Ross fan. I hope he has some people. I hope he has some people in his corner that hold him accountable and say, nah, you went too far, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and
the dude's wife,
I
bro's
hope
wife.
he steps up, because let your apology be as loud as your disrespect. So you disrespected my wife on social media. Now you need to come back and say, I apologize. I was wrong. I disrespected your wife. I disrespected your kids.
I disrespected you.
I disrespected you, your marriage. I should have never mentioned your wife. And I apologize. I was wrong. Like, he needs to man up to that, because that, first of all, like, she out there minding her business, taking care. She got 6 damn kids. The last thing she want to be worried about is another man talking about making her come. Like, come on now. Like, that's so disrespectful. I don't like that. It ain't funny. Like, it's so disrespectful.
It's crossing the line. It's disrespect. You deserve to get.
It ain't even funny anymore now. What was going back and forth? I hope, and this don't need to be on social media or anything, that big behind house he done bought from Evander Holyfield, Envy need to show up, knock on the door. Come on out, biggest boss. Like, we need, and I'm not advocating violence by any means, but it needs to be a man-to-man conversation. Like, don't put my wife in it. Like, I feel like that as a woman. The only way you
don't put hands on them is if you, look, I'm going to pull my phone out and you go on live and apologize. Right now. That's the only way I don't put hands on you. If I come to you like that, knock on your door and tell you, yo, this shit going to escalate if you don't do this. And you don't, then it's going to escalate immediately. But if you apologize, I'm going to give you the opportunity to apologize, because my wife would want that, because she's the one humiliated. So she will want you to be up there saying, I'm sorry, I apologize for what I said. But if you don't do that, I ain't fly all the way down here to talk to you.
But truth be told, I'm humiliated because my husband looks like a sucker. That's real. Like, I'm not humiliated because another man is talking about, you know, paddling me. As a woman, it's not humiliating. It's a little embarrassing. I don't want another man to be talking about having sex with me when I'm a married woman. But the humiliating part of it is everybody's side and, like, your man, what he gonna do? That's the humiliating part. The fact that you disrespected my husband by putting me in. He didn't say anything disrespectful about her. It was just disrespectful to even mention her in any way, and especially in a sexual context. Yeah. So
to
as
say
a wife,
she not gonna have to fake it over here, and to be whipping the paddle as if you smacking somebody on the ass while you hitting it from the back,
Yeah.
It's all needs to be said.
Yeah,
Like
I'm humiliated because you made
jumped
my
past
husband look
that
like a
line
sucker.
and danced over there. You didn't just come close to the line. You jumped across it, danced your feet in the sand, and you know, you did a little jig over there. Like, that's out of pocket. Like, you so far out the pocket, you got to put hands on you to get you back in the pocket.
Yeah. And even as a woman, I feel like if I'm beefing back and forth with a woman, even if it's, jokey joke, I'm never going to mention anybody's husband to, like, say, oh, your husband a punk. Like, nothing. Don't bring my husband up. Please don't bring my husband up. Like, it's
Women
like
say
the
some
funny...
foul shit. Like, if somebody said, you be glad you got your husband because I could have fucked him.
Yeah.
I can feel the tension now. The cheesy Chinese smile.
And I feel like somebody's saying that, like, to me, it's like you think I'm a sucker. You think and this ain't about who can beat who, but you think I'm a sucker that you think you can say that to me.
That's
and
a
there's no
premeditated
repercussions.
thought of, I'm about to say some hateful shit. Let me go in this bag of hate and pull out this thing and say this.
It ain't even hateful. It's disrespectful. Yeah.
Disrespectful.
And that's how I feel about Rick Ross. Like, you are completely disrespectful. It ain't about whether or not you can beat Envy or Envy can beat him. You have no respect for that man that you didn't even give it a second, or maybe you did give it a second thought, but you still thought it was okay to say that. Like, nothing in your mind for a second said, nah, let me
even when I
hold
thought
this
Envy
back.
went too far in the beginning, I said to myself one day, Envy went too far when he was like, diabetes, high blood pressure, that's what he about. And it was like, damn, keep it light. You don't have to get personal like that. And not saying Ross is right, but he could have took that personally and been like, I've been having seizures, falling out. That's documented. Like, I had real life trauma, and are you gonna go there? I'm gonna go here. Not saying I condone it or it's right, because I think it's wrong, but I always try to look at things from each side.
Yeah, but like you said from the beginning, it was about Ross.
Yeah.
Ross should have came back. Do your research. Find out something about Envy.
Yeah.
Don't put his wife and kids should be off limit.
And he's always been vocal about that. My wife and kids are off limits.
Yeah.
Ja Morant cryptic message. Heard about this?
No.
Ja Morant's story this morning. He wrote, "Goodbye, Dad." No, he wrote, "Goodbye, Dad. Goodbye, Mom. His daughter, your fun baby girl." And then he just wrote bye. And then 5 minutes later, he erased it when people snapped it and started to say, what's wrong with Ja? Like, is he going to go kill himself? Why is he telling his mom, his dad, and his daughter bye?
My thing is this, right?
Is it, again, a cry for help? Because people write shit like that cryptically instead of just saying, I need help or going to get help. You do some cryptic shit like that makes everybody say, because immediately everybody was like, yo, Ja cool? Like, what's wrong with him? Like, y'all see this shit he wrote? Like, it was screenshotted and sent out immediately.
It's a cry for help because you put it on the internet. And so you could have texted your mom, text your dad, text your daughter's mother to say those things. Even that could have still been a cry for help from those people. But you put it on the internet for the world to know this is how you were feeling. Like, I think that lady, and I don't remember her name, Chelsea something, who had jumped from the roof in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, didn't she, like, send a message to her family?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even then, you don't know when somebody's going to do something, if there is time to help them, to save them. But, just again, I just feel like doing that to the internet, you're asking for help. And even doing it and taking it down is still like, it's almost like shooting off a flare and then just hoping that it goes away.
It's just a different kind of cry for help. Like, some could look at the waving a gun as a cry for help. Like, immediately after you just got reprimanded for doing it the first time, and you do it again a month later.
Why would you say that's a cry for help?
Some people would say that because it's almost like this is how I thought about it. I have people around me that just yes me to death. Like, I'm the breadwinner of the family. I take care of my dad, my mom, my sister, my friends, everybody. So I'm the ticket, and nobody listens to me. Like, as far as like, how you doing, what's wrong, is anything on your mind, how you feeling? It's just a angle, like a ulterior motive to be in my life and to go along this ride with with me. And I don't think he has people around him that to tell him when he's wrong, and he might understand that the people around him don't tell him when it's wrong and that it's a bunch of yes people. So let me cry out to do something that is going to get me attention. If that, I don't think I'm explaining it the whole like the way I'm supposed to. But
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just don't think I don't think that that's a cry for help. And I hear what you're saying. Having all these
bad behavior is a cry for help. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying him holding a gun, he has to be held accountable for that, being on the internet. And it's not like he broke a law, but
that's the thing. I don't think it was bad behavior in the sense.
No, it's terrible behavior, babe, to be waving a gun in a car with your friends. The fucking gun could go off. You could shoot somebody. That shit's been around since time immemorial. You don't play with guns around people. Okay. So it's not, you don't wave a gun in a car with 3 people in the car. That shit could go off, shoot somebody fucking head off.
I didn't see the video. I didn't know exactly what he did. I just knew he had a gun.
The first time he picked up a gun like this and dangled it. The second time he picked up a gun like this and waved it around the car with people in the back seat and the front seat.
See, I don't look at that as like a cry for help. To me, that's like a fuck you. Because you got in trouble the first time for just dangling. Now you like... like what?
That's exactly what it was. The first time he had a little gun like this, he had it with 2 fingers. He went like this, and he got in trouble. This time he was like this.
Yeah, to me that's like a fuck you. I do what I want. You know, do you know who I am? I am who I am. I'm bigger than the rules. And I think that in all of this, I think what people, and I'm not going to say what people forgot, but what I haven't heard mentioned, people talk about the legality of the guns and, if he owns it and if it's his and the white man did this and he didn't get in trouble, this, that, and the other. Companies have rules. Organizations have rules. And if they say, you're not allowed to do this as long as you're employed by us because it's not a representation of our brand that we would like to be portrayed to the public. Okay, they can say you're not allowed to smoke. Hospital workers in some scenarios are not allowed to smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes are legal. You just can't smoke cigarettes if you're going to be an employee of that hospital. It's bad optics is what it is for our nurses and doctors to be taking smoke breaks outside against the hospital fucking smoking cigarettes. Exactly. We can't have that. So companies can determine what they want their employees to do or not do. You as an employee can determine if you want to follow the rules or not. So for him, I just look at that as he thinks he's bigger than the rules.
I do think he's bigger than the rules, but I think people are projecting and judging him on what they would do. Like, it's his bag to fuck up. It's his 200 million. It's his work that got him there. So I think people judge him on, oh man, how could you fuck up 200 million because you think you wouldn't. So now that he's doing it in real time, you're judging and saying, you're a fucking asshole because I wouldn't blow 200 million. I wouldn't blow the bag like that if I worked that hard and got there. But that situation is not presented to you.
Do you think it's a different level of commitment from a player, let's say, because he came from like a middle class, like he didn't come from the hood. We hear about some players, whether it's basketball or football, where they lived in the slums, like they were poor, and they gotta make it to the NBA or NFL, so they feel, because they have their whole families on their back.
He might have uncles, and his father might have been that, the dudes in the street, so he probably has a sense of that, but he don't come from that.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, because he doesn't, he didn't come from a struggle life. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that's why there's a different level of commitment where he's not so hard pressed of like, oh, I can't mess this up because
because what he has to revert back to wasn't bad. Some people reverting back to, not eating and being broke and coming from the hood, that's the picture, that's their experience. If he didn't come from that,
so do you think
it's players like him, Steph Curry's, people who dads were Patrick Mahomes, like people who dads were NBA, NFL, MLB stars. It's like
John Morant dad was in the NBA?
He played baseball, I think.
Okay.
But you have a different life when you came up because your parents had money, and Steph Curry's instance, like his dad was Dell Curry. They had millions of dollars growing up, so it's like you're put into a group when you come from that. Then
so your drive and your motivation just comes from your passion and love for the game, not for the financial gain.
No, not for the struggle, not for I gotta buy my mom a house. Again, when they say black people get money, it always has to go down instead of going up.
Right.
Like you got to do for your parents, where in most races it's the other way around.
Yeah.
What do we got? Let's not do that. Benjamin Schreiber is a white man. Now, this is a question I got, right? Benjamin Schreiber was sentenced to life in prison for beating a man with a pickaxe, okay? Back in the 70s or 80s or some shit like that. He got sick in jail and had some type of cardiac issue and was rushed to the hospital and died. 5 times his heart stopped in the middle of all this, getting him to the hospital. He died 5 times, was in ICU for months, and after he was well enough to be out of ICU, was brought back to prison. His reason for wanting a new trial and for people to look at his case was technically his life sentence. Is a life sentence done if he died?
Mm-hmm.
And like, what do you think? Is a life sentence done if you died and came back?
No. You are okay.
If you got sentenced to life I might say if you got sentenced to life and the judge said you're gonna die here and you died there, it just so happened that you were around doctors and nurses who brought you back. Maybe you spent 2-3 months in an ICU. Now, I'm not saying what you did is in the bad crime and you beat a person with a pickaxe, but you kind of lived like you did your life sentence.
Well, we measure death by the time of death being recorded, and there was not one for him. So he may have lost life momentarily. There's no death certificate. There's no time of death recorded. You're not dead. You're not dead. Like, come on, give it up. You're not dead. Until there's, I think...
He died 5 times. His heart stopped 5 times. They had to shock him, bring him back.
If God wanted your jail sentence to be over...
I think it should be commuted because he died 5 times. I don't think I think he should get not a life sentence, maybe some years, but he died 5 times. Like if the judge sentenced you and said you're not getting out till you die, like that kid just the other week, and he told him you're going to die in a cell. I died.
Yeah. Well,
once in the cell and 4 times on the way to the hospital.
Well, where's the proof? It's not recorded.
That I died?
Yeah.
It is. It says in my records I died 5 times.
There's no death certificate. Death certificate equals death. So until we have a death certificate, go back to jail. Like he tried. I mean, I get it, and maybe it's one of those loopholes that the court is going to have to make an addendum on the law to say, life sentence issued through the date of your signed death certificate.
Man in Florida was partying at a bar, went behind the bar to pee. Alligator got him and ripped his arm off.
Wow. Why was the alligator behind the bar?
It's Florida. Alligators is everywhere.
That is very strange.
Ripped his arm off.
It makes me feel like...
I have a video. I will show you after the show.
It makes me feel like people may have gone behind that bar before to pee, and the bar owner said, aha, I got something for y'all. Y'all want to keep coming behind
No. I think, like you said, people would go behind there to pee, and it's water back there, and a fucking alligator grabbed them and ripped his arm off.
Oh, wait, you mean behind the bar, like outside?
Yes.
Oh, I'm thinking you meant behind the bar counter.
No.
So he went behind
the bar itself, the brick and
the
mortar.
building.
Yes.
Oh. Wow, that's a way to go for sure. I mean, that's like one of them unlucky occurrences. Did you hear about the man who helped the ducks cross the street?
Last act of kindness.
Yeah, and then
how could you hit a motherfucker getting ducks across the street?
You know why? She 17 years old, was probably on a damn cell phone. But it's sad that he died, but it also made me think, damn, at 17, you're a little girl gonna have to, like, you gotta live with the fact that you killed the person. Yeah, it was an accident, but you killed the person. He was helping. I'm sure other people were stopped seeing him helping the damn ducks cross. How did you?
That's gotta be the worst way to kill somebody in the world.
Yeah.
Talking about live with that, they're like, well, damn, what happened? I hit a guy. What was he doing in the street?
He was helping
fucking around.
Ducks.
No, he was helping ducks across
Not
the road.
get killed, and
I
he got
plowed
killed.
right into him.
And the sad part about it is, it made me think to myself, I ain't never getting out to help no ducks. Like, I ain't never getting out to help no ducks.
Could you live in Florida now with all the alligators there? It said it's like 1.3 million alligators or something like that there. Almost about 800,000 pythons.
Wow. Like, what? Why the sudden surge?
Well, the pythons, it's just the people had pets. They got too big and they chucked them in the swamp. They had babies, and over 10, 15 years, there's fucking hundreds of thousands of them.
I mean, I wouldn't want
big enough that they eating alligators.
I wouldn't want to live near swamp water.
You don't have to be. They're on a golf course. They're in supermarket parking lots. They're the alligators. You watch the news, babe?
No.
Okay, well.
I live with you. Why would you ask me that?
I'm just saying. Well, I mean, the
we
news
watch
on your
like
phone and shit like that.
Nah.
Like, there's alligators in Florida everywhere.
Wow. No. I mean, sometimes, people exaggerate stuff.
I think the snakes scare me more than the alligators. The alligators, I think, are big enough where it's like I can see coming. Snakes, big ass pythons, they grab you and like squeeze your ass.
I don't think they're like hanging from the trees where you gotta like duck and dive to.
Yeah, you don't watch the news because then you would know that there's like 25-foot pythons down in Florida like eating shit.
I mean, but I'm sure they are not in like every Yeah, I could live in Florida, to answer your question. Despite the pythons and the alligators, I wouldn't want to live in Florida because of the politicians.
Got you. That's boom boom.
Yeah.
Let's get through these quick. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, high speed chase in New York City. I call bullshit.
Me too.
I've been to New York a few times with you.
Quite a few times.
You can't have a high speed chase in New York where they was. It's just too much traffic.
I can run from one quarter to the next in New York City faster than a car can make it.
And
just because of the traffic.
Why does it have to be same family running from paparazzi as the way my mom died? Like that kind of
sensationalism.
Yeah, sensationalism on it. Like
I think that's what they were trying to make a comparison there. I think that is the only reason why they said that. First of all, you can't run. The police can't even chase nobody in New York City like on a high speed
chases you see in New York. Where the fuck are you going to go when it's like 1 million cabs? Also accompanied by 8 million cars.
Yeah, I don't believe it. Not for 1 second. I'm sure the paparazzi
We've been in Ubers and cabs. They never go fast.
I'm sure the paparazzi may have been following them aggressively. A high speed chase, I think, is a flat out lie.
Yes,
I don't believe it.
I do too. Nick Cannon says that Bruno Mars has more hits than Beyonce. Now, you may know Bruno Mars, his music a little more than I do. I know Beyonce's records, and she's got a lot of slaps. Like, I've been to her shows. She can play 40 slaps in a row. Yeah. I don't know if Bruno Mars can do that. But when he comes to town, his tickets are $1,100, $1,200, $1,500, and people say he does an awesome fucking show. You could speak to this more than I can. Does he have more quote-unquote hits radio songs than Beyonce?
Absolutely not. He doesn't even, his discography doesn't even hold up to Beyonce's. And we have to think about longevity too.
Well, that's not the question. I'm talking about hits. Like,
no.
I got a versus. If Beyonce played 20 songs, can Bruno Mars play 20 songs that everybody
that
would
are
know?
hits?
Yeah,
no.
That's what I'm saying. I don't listen to that genre of music.
No. And again, I like Bruno Mars. I'm a fan. I like his whole...
Well, I don't listen to pop stations. I listen to his music, but I don't listen to pop stations where you might hear it all the time.
I like Bruno Mars. I have a Bruno Mars station on Pandora. He doesn't have hits that will like hold up to Beyonce's. Like he doesn't. He just and he has hits. Numerically they just don't add up. Nick Cannon, he lost some brain power with all that sperm he was shooting out. Like, no.
I would say no, just from what I know. But like I said, you would know better because I know you listen to Bruno Mars a lot more than I
I
do.
want him to list them. Like, list them compared to Beyonce's hits.
So if it was 20 Bruno Mars songs, would you know them?
Probably. I mean, I like even some of his beat, like what we would call B-side songs, if y'all know what B-side is. But I would know. I would be familiar with him, yes, but I don't think he has 20 hits. Like, I don't think so.
Okay. Did you learn anything this week?
You said we wasn't doing that.
I did learn something though.
So you lied?
Yeah, and it's just real quick. I learned that in the midst of getting a headstone, that people at the headstone place want you to put, if somebody has a double grave, they want you to put that person's name, birth year, and a dash on a headstone. I had no idea that this was a part of that process or something like that would be done. I just thought it was crazy. And on the way leaving the place, I was like, let me look and see how many people do this. Quite a few. Quite a few people put a name, a birth year, and a dash and just leave it. And just a question that I might ask, how do y'all feel about having your name chiseled on a tombstone? Even if it's like you're going in next to your mother or your father or your husband or whatever, but how do you feel about that? That's what I learned. You stayed dumb.
No. I learned, did you know that there's a condition in which you can have blue blood? And it comes from
blue bloods.
It comes from having more Fe2 than Fe3. Fe meaning, you know what that is?
Mm-mm.
That's from the periodic table. Fe is the chemical element for iron.
Okay.
But you can actually have blue blood.
Okay. And we saw a blue man.
We did see a blue man.
Last one. Which is the hottest show out right now? We're not watching any TV. It's like Snowfall went off. What have you been hearing is the hottest TV show right now that everybody's watching?
I've heard some things about Power, like the last couple episodes or so. I've heard were pretty good.
Actually, the first 2 episodes.
The first 2?
Of the new season.
Oh,
I think only 1 and 2 are out.
Oh, I thought it was the last 2.
Okay.
I thought the season just ended and it was the last 2.
No, I think it just came on.
Okay.
But whatever.
I could be wrong, yeah.
Oh, that was another thing. A girl in Philadelphia at prom this year.
I saw Michael Rainey showed up.
I called him Tyreek Rainey. Had Michael Rainey showed up.
Yeah. It was like, okay, like it wasn't like that was her prom date. He just like did a cameo, which was cool, I guess.
As a kid though, you like, I shut that shit down. I have bought it.
I know. But you know, one of the things that I noticed that a lot of conversation that I saw, and I know personally of some people that do this. Just because you see people have like a send off in the hood, people are judging other people's financial status based on that. Like the one guy who had like the DJ and it was like the balloons going up to the roof. Come to find out, his mom is a very successful real estate developer. Or like loan off, something like that. She works in real estate. And that was one of the rental properties that she owns that is used as an Airbnb. And she used that house as like the location of the send-off so that, you don't give everybody your actual home address. And I know a few people that have done that, not to that extent, but like, we gonna leave from the child's grandma's house or something, because maybe that's like the house that everybody knows and not, the actual home address, because everybody shouldn't know where you live, but you might want to invite more people than you want to know where you live. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So so that was one of the things I heard people saying, like, they need to live in a better neighborhood to be doing this. Pictures are pictures. Take them for what they're worth, but people make so many judgments based on pictures, or how he even graduating, or what college y'all should be spending this on college tuition. You don't know people's financial status. Just like the pictures or don't like them and keep scrolling.
How does it show out right now?
I did go off a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
like,
you
answer the
mentioned
question, then go off.
You mentioned million little things.
A whole bunch of little things.
And I heard also the little things.
With Denzel. The little things. I was watching it the other day. I fell asleep.
No, then okay, we might be talking about two different shows.
You said we saw this.
That's a movie. So you said A Million Little Things.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's the same show that I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay.
That's a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 124 in the books. 124. It's your boy International Walk.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
Act2thepodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Anchor, Breaker, Google, YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok. If you fuck with us, y'all fuck with us, and we know y'all fuck with us. If you don't, you should, and we know y'all don't. Peace.
Give me a kiss.